Says Shila Prabhat. I hope you all are well. Welcome you all to His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj's daily call. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Shila Prabhat. So today Maharaj will be discussing about Shrimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter number 10 and verse number 5. Name of the chapter is Bhagavatam is the answers to all questions. So I'll be sharing screen. Just give me. Oops, sorry, I forgot to minimize my YouTube video. So I'll minimize it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Maharaj, just the voice is little fainted. Maybe might have to increase the volume.
Haribol, how's that?
Yes, it's better. Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Avataranujaritam Harischaya Nuvartinam Pumsamisha Kata Prokta Nanakya Nopabrimitaha. The science of God describes the incarnation of the personality of Godhead and his different activities, together with the activities of his great devotees. Purport. During the course of the existence of the cosmic manifestation, the chronology of history is created, recording the activities of the living entities. People in general have a tendency to learn the history and narrations of different men and times, but due to a lack of knowledge in the science of God, they are not apt to study the history of the incarnations of the personality of Godhead. It should always be remembered that the material creation is created for the salvation of the conditioned souls. The merciful Lord, out of his causeless mercy, descends to various planets in the material world and acts for the salvation of the conditioned souls. That makes the history and narrations worth reading. Srimad Bhagavatam offers such transcendental topics of the Lord in relationship with great devotees. Therefore, the topics of the devotees and the Lord are given respectful oral reception. Om Agyan Timirandasya Ginajana Salakaya Chaksuin Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nivrasesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya De Satarine Vanchakalpa Taruvishcha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patidanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gouda Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, history is studied by many, but what is actual history? Just the events that happen in the world today? That is not real history. That's just someone's calculation of certain outstanding things that happen in the material sense. Here we get what is real history. History of the personality of Godhead and as he appears in different incarnations. And what does he do? He makes the process of bhakti available to the conditioned souls. Of course, the appearance of the Lord has many reasons. He appears to give pleasure, uplift the conditioned souls. He appears to reestablish religious principles when They go down due to the influence of demoniac population. And he also comes to destroy that demoniac population. He mentions that as the reasons why he appears in this world. So people are apt to study history, but they're apt to study the mundane history, different wars that happen between different countries, different kings that come and go, different events that influence the activities of the conditioned souls in a very significant way. But a lot of it is just useless. There's no value to it. But studying about the Supreme Lord and his activities, we can also benefit as in our progress towards the goal of life, which is ultimately to develop relationship with the Supreme Lord in devotion. The material creation comes as a purpose. The material creation is meant to give the conditioned souls a chance to free themselves from that material creation. It's interesting. Material life is meant to free you from material life. That's the actual goal. In other words, you commit a crime, you go to jail, and you say you're in jail. So if you learn how to live in jail and follow the rules and be a nice prisoner, then you get out and you don't have to, there's no more jail for you. But jail is a confinement. So the material world is a confinement for the conditioned souls. And that's what makes them conditioned. But the material world is meant to be used in the service of the Lord as an opportunity to free oneself from the cycle of birth and death. No one wants birth. No one wants old age. No one wants disease. And obviously, nobody wants death. But they're forced upon the conditioned soul. It's unnatural for the conditioned soul. It's unnatural for the soul to take birth, to die, to get old and diseased, and to undergo tribulations due to its association with another energy that is also the energy of the Lord. But because of leaving the spiritual world due to some unforeseen understanding of how we left, we can never know why we left the spiritual world. The only way we can know how we left the material world is once we return to, how we left the spiritual world is when we return to the spiritual world, we'll know everything, and then we won't leave again. It says that the soul falls to the material world only once. Of course, one can fall again, but one won't fall again. It's like when you put your finger in the fire and it burns. Then you avoid doing that again because it's a very painful situation. So you avoid that. So to live in the material world is a form of suffering. No matter how much you may successfully manipulate the material energy to get some benefits, still you're in an unnatural situation. It's like being in jail and having some privileges in the jail. You may think, oh, I'm in jail, but at least I can use the law library. I even have privileges where I can uh, take care of other inmates. But you're in jail. That's the problem. So get out of jail. It doesn't mean just because you have a good jail cell that you're better than everybody else. You're still in jail. Just because you are materially successful, you might say, or have some achievement of success. What is that success? That success is maybe you get a good family, maybe you get some money, maybe you get a good position, but you still have to get old, you still have to die, you still get diseased, and then you're still forced again to take birth again in the material world. So it's not about changing seats on the Titanic, as we say. In other words, the Titanic was a ship that went down, and people who were on the top part of the Titanic, on the deck, didn't realize that they were going down as much as the people on the bottom. They understood it first, and the people on the top eventually. Everyone on the same ship died. So, in any case, to somehow or other get a better material situation is not the solution to the problem, because the problem exists. We're still in the material world. So, as Srila Prabhupada has given us, and he's also encourages to get out of the material world, come back to Krishna, your eternal lover, and enjoy eternal life full of happiness and full of transcendental knowledge. And that is the benefit of using the material world for what the material world is designed to be used for. It's not meant that we come here to enjoy. What can we enjoy? We can try to enjoy, but all of our enjoyment is fraught with suffering. We get something we like, we lose it. We get something we like, and it doesn't give us what we expect, and we feel unhappy. Um, or we don't get what we like, and we feel unhappy. So, no matter what way you turn, it's all the same in the material world. You have to lose. It's all temporary, as Krishna says. We don't believe Krishna. We have some difficult understanding why Krishna is speaking the way he is. He says this material world is dukkhalayam, asasratam. It's temporary and it's miserable. But we think maybe he's just saying that for some people and not for everybody. Or maybe he said it at one time and now it's different. No, these topics or these statements by the Supreme Lord are eternal. They're fixed within the principle of time. So the merciful Lord, he descends to perform his activities in the material world just to attract the conditioned souls out of the material world so they eventually come back to Krishna in devotion. And that is the success of life. To to have a lot of money, to have a lot of friends, to have a lot of good position is not success of life, because you lose it anyway. And even while you have it, most of the time people are never satisfied with it anyway, and they always look for something different, something more. Why? Because we're not meant to take birth in the material world. We have to understand that principle. This is not our home. We made it our home because we were forced to accept it as our home due to our desire to be separate from Krishna. So we decided to create a home outside of the purview of the Lord's existence and try to find happiness within that outside home. And therefore we just simply suffer. And then after some time, we have to leave. And because we still have desires to enjoy, we're forced again, take bad birth again. And Maya Davase, Kacho Bese, Kacho Bubu Dubai. Pahuare, Jeev Krishna Das, hey, Vishwas, Golina Duganai. You're not meant life after life. Stop this cycle of birth and death. Stop trying to enjoy something that is not meant for your enjoyment. Get out of this material world and experience the happiness you're looking for where it actually exists. And therefore, one has to take up devotional service, which is not very difficult. To take up devotional service is easy. But still, because we are still attached to this material world, we still think that there's some happiness here. We don't give full attention or full energy to devotional service. And therefore, we still struggle. And then when it's time to leave this body, we still have material desires. But one has to be devotional service is easy, but one has to be serious in the execution of devotional service. And then this material world will fade, just like clouds fade in due course of time. A cloud is not an eternal existence. Although a cloud has something, some effect, it covers the sun, but it cannot cover the sun permanently. After some time, the wind blows the cloud, or the cloud dissipates due to the element, the emphasis of time. So we are still thinking that there's some happiness in this material world. But happiness is coming from the soul, and soul is actually spiritual, and soul belongs to Krishna. So happiness comes in our relationship to Krishna and devotional service. And therefore, devotional service is susukam kartam avyayam. It's full of joyful activities, and the conditioned souls can experience happiness even while still in this material world, real happiness, which leads to their eternal happiness. So one has to take up this devotional service in a serious way. That means whatever activities we perform should be performed with attention, with as much devotion as we can acquiesce, and keeping our focus on the goal. That, yeah, I have so many responsibilities in this material world, but my real responsibility is to get out of this place and go back to where we belong in the spiritual world. And so Krishna is very kind. Yada yada hi dharmasya. And it says the incarnations of Krishna are so numerous that one cannot count these incarnations. The analogy or the comparison is given just like you sit on the beach and you watch the waves come in. So you can sit there forever and the waves will come in forever. There's no counting of the waves. In the same way, there's no counting of the incarnations of the Lord. When Krishna comes in his personal form, that is very special for the conditioned souls. And then there, one can develop full attraction for Krishna in his personal form as Krishna, which is the epitome of all of the forms of the Lord. And when one understands Krishna and his activities in Vrindavan, as Krishna says, Tattva Dham Deham Purna Janmani Naiti Mamechi Surjuna, that one who knows Janma Karma Chame Devam, Evam Yo Bhati Tattva Daha, Tattva Deham Purna Janmani Naiti Mam Eti Surjuna, one who knows the nature of my transcendental activities and birth in this material world does not, upon leaving the body, again come back into this material world, but they attain to my spiritual abode, my eternal abode in the spiritual world. So one should take up this devotional service seriously. Otherwise, one is forced life after life to take birth and die, take birth and die, take birth and die, and undergo the tribulations that come with having a material body. So therefore, one should hear about the incarnations of the Lord and how the Lord appears in his different forms, what he does when he appears, just like when he appeared as Vamanadev. He came in the most beautiful form that attracted everyone who saw him. Simply by his appearance, it was so attractive they forgot everything else. And he came to favor the demigods. They had lost their kingdom to Bali Maharaj, and the Lord came to give the demigods back their control, at least their service of managing the affairs of the material energy. So that's a very wonderful pastime. You can hear about it. It's in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. He comes, he comes as half man, half lion to show his love for his pure devotee who knows nothing but him, and in the most amazing form to show that no matter how intelligent you may be, no matter how adept you are in doing things material, I'm always one step ahead of you. And if you try to avoid me and at the same time harass those who are devoted to me, then the Lord comes to destroy that demon. Now, there's so many demons were killed by Krishna, so many re-establishing of the religious principles. Just like when Krishna came here as Krishna, before he left, he established Dharma again. He set the saintly kings back on the throne, and then he left in order to return to his spiritual abode. But while he was here, he removed their religion and established religious principles through his devotees who took power in positions of different kings around the world. But that's Krishna. So when we hear about these different things, we actually become attracted to Krishna. That attraction purifies our consciousness. And when that attraction develops to the point of love, then we qualify ourselves to go back home, back to Godhead. And loving Krishna is natural. Just like a boy loves a girl loves a boy, nobody has to think otherwise. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. And nobody has to learn that. Even if nobody teaches it, it's there. It happens automatically. Similarly, our attraction for Krishna is like that. But we don't have to learn it. We simply have to uncover it as it is covered by the different layers of our conditioned nature. And lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy harass the living entity and force him to act in a material way. But Cheto Darpana Marjanam, purifying the heart, cleansing the mind, pushing back the power of the material energy, and awakening our natural love for Krishna through the chanting of the holy name. Satam prasangam mamavirya sambido bhavati hitkarna rasaya kata. Hearing the glories of the Lord is nectar for the ears, for the heart, for the mind. It attracts the conditioned soul to become a liberated soul. And the Lord's activities, as is mentioned here, his incarnations are innumerable. His activities are even more innumerable because every time he comes, he performs so many activities. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, actually no, was Vrindavan Das Thakur, the author of Chaitanya Bhagavat, says that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities were like whatever activities you learned about was just a small drop of the activities he performed. He was performing an activity every moment. There were so many lessons, so many activities that they were uncountable, even within one lifetime. Now, this is the Lord. He's very merciful. He doesn't have to come to this material world. His business is to save us and to reestablish religious principles. So he comes. But he can reestablish religious principles without coming. But to give his pleasure to his devotees, to awaken the devotees' love for him, he personally comes to enjoy his pastimes with his devotees who who have become purified by his association. So that's Krishna. So it says here, when one should give oral reception in a respectful way to the activities of the Lord as he appears in his different incarnations. Hare Krishna.
Jai, thank you so much, Maharaj. You have explained the use of this material world so nicely that what devotees should use this material world to go back home, back to Krishna. Thank you so much. Devotees, if you have any questions, comments, realizations, please unmute yourself and ask. You can also type it in the chat and I can read it for you. And it'll be nice to have cameras on if you can, please. Thank you. Hare Krishna. We'll give a minute or two for devotees to think. Please go ahead.
Manohara Das.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, Mahaba obeisances. Thank you
Thank
for your wonderful class.
you.
Um,
Jai.
Jai. My question is about this engaging and hearing about the qualities and various pastimes of Krishna. Sometimes we find that we're very much around the topic of Krishna, but maybe not so much getting into the topics of Krishna in our daily life um, and regular intervals. So my question is how we can more regularly hear about Krishna's qualities. Where should we read from to derive those specific instances? How can we, in pockets of the day, engage in remembering and reading about or hearing about Krishna's qualities and pastimes more directly?
Yeah, there is a way to enhance that. And one of the uh, elements which enhances not only that, but enhances everything we do, is to organize our day in a very regulated way. Schedule times where you can take time just to simply focus on devotional activities. Make time for reading, for hearing, for chanting, for serving. Put it into a schedule. When you schedule something, then it becomes more natural. When the time appears, then you move to that activity. If we don't schedule it, then we'll think, well, when I get time, I'll do it. But then we always find ourselves being forced by the elements of time to do things as things appear. But schedule it, regulated activities. We were talking this morning how regulated Srila Prabhupada was. How is he able to start a worldwide movement and at the same time uh, expand the movement and travel around the world at the same time? Why Prabhupada was the epitome or the ideal example of regulation. We were hearing from his personal servant for many years, Sutta Kirti. He was saying, Prabhupada, there's 24 time zones. So whatever time zone Prabhupada found himself in, he would pick up the activity accordingly. In other words, he had his daily schedule. So even when he traveled, he changed time zones. Whatever time it was, that's what he did at that time in that place when he arrived. So that's not easy. It's a little easier for us because we don't travel around the world. So we can schedule, put some time in. And then after you do that, you'll start looking forward to that time. And then when that time comes, you won't want to do anything else. You start getting a taste for that activity. So those who are regulated in life find life more enjoyable and easy. Those who are unregulated, they're always struggling to find time because they don't know how to use time due to not organizing time for their activities.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Maharaj. I'll try to apply this.
It's easy. You just sit down, write a schedule, and work with it. You may have to tweak it sometimes when it comes, but always keep the basics, the essential things in a very strong, regulated way, and add the rest of the time periods with other activities. Stay regulated. It's also good for the health too when you stay regulated.
Mm.
That's awesome.
Mm. Okay, nice. I will take that as a direct instruction by your grace.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Manad. Shiv Kumar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, I had this question, Maharaj, and Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter, 41 and 42 slokas talk about what happens to an unsuccessful transcendentalist practitioner, spiritual practitioner. After a short time, he takes in birth in a righteous family of righteous people or family of rich aristocracy, or after a long practice of yoga, he takes birth in a family of transcendentalists. So I had this question, Maharaj, that we see that the devotees come from different backgrounds. Some of them may not are not coming from a family that is conducive for practicing bhakti, whereas the children born for a devotee couple may not take up to bhakti. So I just wanted to understand how do we understand these slokas, Maharaj?
Well, people have their independence just because you're born in a transcendental family or a mercantile family. Suchinam Simatam Geye Yoga Brasta Prajayate. That's the verse. Explains Suchi, good family, pious family, religious family, and one who has wealth, but they still have their choice. They may be influenced by the good birth and take advantage of that good birth by trying to enjoy material energy more.
Mm.
So, therefore, they require again to connect with the process of devotional service, even though they're in a better material situation. Why does Krishna put them in that situation? So they don't have to struggle in this material world to maintain themselves, and they can focus their time and energy on the goal of life. That's
Mm.
why they're given that blessing or that boon.
Mm. Mm.
But still, they have their choice.
Mm.
But if they get the right association, then they can again pick up in their devotional service and finish up in that lifetime and go back home, back to Godhead.
Mm.
The tendency to pick up again is still there because of its being there in the previous life.
Mm. Mm.
All the influence of material energy is still there.
Mm. Okay.
One will be born in a rich family and think, well, now I have a lot of wealth, so let me enjoy this material world.
Mm.
Or one could be born in a transcendental family, a pious family, and think, well, that's not everything about life. There's other things that I should aspire for.
Mm.
Now, especially from the ages of 18 to 32 is called Navayogana. That's the time where the conditioned souls look to fix themselves in some kind of lifestyle by which they can formulate their desires to enjoy the material world. Marriage, occupation, uh, uh, relationships all develop around that age. Before then, there's something, but it becomes formulated, or when we say organized, that we call that the Navayoganam stage from 18 to 32. That's just a general thing. It's not an absolute principle.
Mm. Mm.
So
Mm.
therefore, those who are family members, parents, they should adhere to the principle that's been taught by Rishabdev, that it's your duty to bring children into the world and to bring them to the goal of life. If you fail to do that, then you're implicated in the laws of material nature because that's your duty as a parent. You neglect your duty, then you'll be what we say you'll have to suffer for that neglect. Yeah, that's mentioned in don't become father, don't become mother, don't become guru, don't become teacher, unless you can deliver your disciples, your children, your students from the cycle of birth and death.
Mm.
Hmm. What is that verse? Yeah, Janana Pita, what is that? I think what is the actual verse? Kuruna Sasya, Jananena Sasya, Patina Sasya, Namochaye Sarvapeta Umityam. This is a very strong verse. It's from the fifth canto, fifth chapter, verse number 18. It talks about, the responsibilities of those who take the position of guiding others, such as parents, teachers, gurus, people who have that position, who are responsible for the lives of others.
Mm.
They shouldn't take that position unless they can bring them to the goal of life. One who cannot deliver his dependence on the path of repeated birth should never become a spiritual master, father, husband, and mother, or worshipful demigod. That's spoken by Supreme Lord Rishabdev in his incarnation. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much. Dhanyavad.
So much, Shiva Prabhu. Himakshi Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my most humble obeisances. Guru Maharaj, as you said that this material world is a jail and only the spiritual activities are internal and joyous. They give us joy. And it does happen with me. But when it comes to book distribution, I cannot maintain the mood of book distribution. If the other person is saying bad words or something, so uh, the whole mood of book distribution is somehow destroyed, and then it is not a joyous activities for me. Then I have become very frustrated and disheartened that why people are saying like that and why people are not taking seriously to take this book. So how can I take this, Guru Maharaj?
Well, if you want to continue to do book distribution, you have to think about how best you can come up with ideas to inspire people to listen to what you have to say and eventually take a book. But if you find that service too difficult, then do another service. It's not that you have to do book distribution. Of course, it's a very noble service, and it's very pleasing to everyone, including Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas. But there are other services. That's not that everyone has to do book distribution. Do something in devotional service.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Actually, I really love doing book distribution. I can say dancing and book distribution are my most favorite services to do. But
Mhm.
it just becomes how to maintain the mood while book distribution. That this is a spiritual activity, joyous activity. How just to keep that mood for book distribution.
The center. It's not about you. It's about giving the conditioned soul something that will benefit them eternally. So you're a messenger, that's all. You're a messenger on behalf of your spiritual master, on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. You're a messenger. So come as a messenger, but you have to somehow or other speak in such a way to attract people's attention. And nowadays, Depends what country you are. And some countries are more difficult than others. The more highly developed materialistic countries are a little bit more difficult to distribute books than other places, but still think about ways to uh, get the conditioned souls to get interested in the book that you have. And go out with other book distributors and see how they do it. You don't have to be doing it. You can just go with them and see how if find a successful book distributor and see how she does it. What country are you in?
Guru Maharaj, India, ISKCON Ujjain.
You're in what? Ujjain?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, ISKCON Ujjain, India.
Okay, you're in Ujjain. So yeah, tell them that Mahakal is a devotee of Krishna. So if they want to learn more
Yes,
about it, you can tell them that Mahakal actually is Shiva, and Shiva is Vaishnava Yadam Shambhu, who's the greatest of all Vaishnavas. So learn about who Shiva worships.
yes, Guru Maharaj.
That's just an idea. You can, yeah, like that. Ujjain's a fast-moving place. It's very fast, and there's a lot of activity. But maybe it's too fast for you, huh?
Guru Maharaj.
So just try to stay up with the pace. Go to indoor. It's too difficult in a Ujjain. Try there.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. That one line of yours, that I am the messenger of Srila Prabhupada, messenger of a spiritual master, clears the entire idea for book distribution.
Yeah. Anyway, just you can teach them other things. Tell them how wonderful it is to dance because you like to dance, right?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
You can say, well, our program is that we sing and dance, and this book will teach you to sing and dance in any situation.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
How to be happy.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
People in Ujjain think they're happy. That's the problem.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions?
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Himakshi Mataji. Any other questions, devotees? While we are waiting, Maharaj, I had a question. This verse mainly says that we should read about the Lord and how we can use the material creation, material world to connect with the Lord. But many a times, all the time, this material world is for us to use it. But many a times we have the problems with this material world, like we face. But the devotees, like when it says in Srimad Bhagavatam that Nashta Prayashu Bhadrashu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, Srimad Bhagavatam can, every day if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, it takes away all the material miseries. How do we get confidence in when we read it, when we understand it, but still the heart gets very distressed when the problems comes, and somehow or other after understanding reading and everything we get disturbed. So how do we not get disturbed and we just
The material
use.
world is full of disturbances. You can't stop the disturbances in the material world because that's the nature of the material world. You have to not be disturbed. That means you have to be fixed in your Krishna consciousness.
Hmm.
Have to be, you work without getting attached to the results. You're out on book distribution. Some people will take, some people won't. So you get happy when someone takes, you get disturbed when someone looks like they're going to take, but they don't take. So don't become disturbed. Yeah, we have a body, we have a mind. These things are still giving us problems. Old age is there. Some disease comes. Just this material world is what it is. So for a devotee, they know that this is the nature of the material world. They expect these things, but they don't become overwhelmed or disturbed by them. They work through them. They stay fixed in their devotional service. Happiness comes, distress comes, but a devotee is not deterred in their execution of devotional service.
Hmm.
So
Thank you, Maharaj. So
if
stay
you want
fixed in devotion. Yeah.
disturbances, go back to the spiritual world.
Hmm.
You can't find it here. Don't worry. Don't think that you're going to find, you know, everything is going to be just the way you want it. It's just not. That's an illusion.
Hmm.
Way the material world works under the influence of the three modes of material energy.
Thank you,
Don't
Maharaj.
don't become affected by those modes. Stay aloof from the modes and tolerate the disturbances. That's all. And ignore the disturbances. Sometimes you have to ignore the disturbances so you don't become, dragged down by them.
Hmm.
Says something you don't like, what can you do? Tolerate it. If you want the spiritual world, you have to go. You can't have Vaikuntha in the material world. It's not possible. You can have a better situation, but you can't have perfection in this world. It's the way it is.
Hmm. Maharaj, I always think of that, the Mahaprabhu's in Shishtastakam, the last verse, when he says that you are my unconditional Lord, like, you either break me or embrace me. So, so should we have faith that Lord is going to resolve the problem and make the situation better, or should we just pray to the Lord that whatever it is, even if the situation gets worse and worse, I'm happy to
Don't,
accept.
don't let me forget you. That's all.
Yes. Okay.
In happiness, don't let me forget you. And distress, don't let me forget you.
Mm. Thank you, Maharaj. That's very
You're
good.
happy and you remember Krishna, you become more happy. When you're in distress, you remember Krishna. With distress, and it becomes less and less.
Mm.
Anyway, just remember Krishna.
Thank you. Thanks, man. It's very helpful. Any other questions, devotee? It's a very important topic. Uh, and yeah, if you have any issues reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Shastras, or anything about the material world you want to discuss, please. Yeah. So we have a question from Anubha Prabhu. I'll read it to Maharaj. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Danvat Pranam. Please accept my obeisances. Guru Maharaj, my question was, when responsibilities and services increase, sometimes the mind starts to identify with the position rather than the servant mood. How can we protect ourselves from this trap?
Just don't identify with the position. That's all. What can I say? You're not the position, you're the servant. The position is a way to serve. That's all it is. If you think, you know, if you think that you are the position, then you'll find that that position will change after the time, and then you'll adopt another position and you'll think you're that position. So where's your identity? Your identity is you are served by Krishna. Now we're eternal servants of the Lord. And we use the position as a means for service. And we serve according to that position also. Positions change. Identity doesn't change. So don't identify with the changing of the material energy. Stay with your, it's Prabhupada uses an example. There's a wheat husking machine. It husks wheat. It's called a decking machine. So if you put the decking machine on the Earth planet, it will husk wheat. You take the decking machine and you take it to the heavenly planets, it'll husk wheat. So wherever it does whatever it is. So wherever devotee is, they serve. This situation, that situation, this identity, this service, that service. Do the service accordingly, but don't forget who you are. Thank you, Anubhav.
Thank you, Anubhav. Yes, Guru Maharaj, thank you so much. He's saying. Any other questions, devotees? If not, we can close the call, Maharaj.
Yeah, I think it's about time. It's about 1 hour.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you
so
so much.
yeah, I doubt if I'll be here tomorrow, but maybe on Friday we'll be here. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much, and
Thank you so much for your time and association, Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
you read and study Bhagavatam
See Krishna.
and find ways to make advancement in devotional service.
Mm.
Okay.
Thank you,
Srila
Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
pranam.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru
Thank you.
Maharaj.
Hare
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you,
much,
Guru
Guru
Maharaj.
Maharaj.
Hey,
Hare
Guru
Krishna.
Maharaj. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hari, 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 Hari,
Thank you,
Bol.
Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Mm.
You want to do a
Thank you.
japa? You want to do a japa session? I'm ready for it.
Yes, yeah, that would be nice. Yes, yeah. Let me bring my big bag.
I didn't say anything, so
Yeah, yeah.
you can do a japa session for at least for a little while, for maybe a half hour or so. Okay, yeah, it's nice to chat with all the devotees. Do you have the slideshow? Can you manage that?
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, I'll run the slideshow.
Okay, everyone, find your position. That means back straight, and focus your mind on chanting the holy name. Pray to the Lord that you would like to offer the chanting to the holy name to his lotus feet as a form of devotion. Chant clearly, pronouncing all of the words distinctly, all the names. And we begin by praying for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and the Panchatattva. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama.